Hi guys, welcome back to Irish Footy Vlogs. Welcome back to another video of mine. Just going to preview the games at the weekend and what could be a massive weekend in the League of Ireland Premier Division. Only 4 games left. Some teams have only 3 games left. In fact, most of the teams only have 3 games left. It's only 4 sides that have 4 games left, but it's a massive weekend and some massive games. And we'll start off at Dalymount Park, where I'll be to vlog. Bohemians and St Patrick's Athletic, which is a lot of people see as a curtain raiser for the cup final, but to be honest, this game carries its own significance, and you know, I don't think either side be thinking about the cup final too much in this one. Interesting head-to-head this season between both clubs. Pat's won here at Dalymount earlier on this season, but Bohs have won at Richmond Park and drawn at Richmond Park, which is interesting. So they're level, if you like, in head-to-head. So it's a big game. Pats are third in the league in 56 points with a game in hand, and Bohs are fourth with 55 points. Haven't played a game more. So the form guide would suggest Bohs are playing probably better in general, better actual football in general. Pats, you know, have been grinding out a lot of results lately, and that can work two ways in a way, because you know, you can come out of that and start playing well again and really, you know, really playing well and picking up good results and better results, or you continue to play like that and you know, you end up struggling, let's say, a little bit. So the interesting thing about this game, obviously it's at Dalymount Park, there's a feeling that Bohs probably have to win if they're going to finish third in the table, I think, to be honest with you. Now, they could draw the game and still be a point behind Pats. Pats would still have that game in hand, which could be crucial, you see. I just have this feeling, in this sense, that Bohs have to win this game if they're going to finish third in the league. Of course, if there were Shells behind them as well, they're only 2 points behind them as well, so you've a lot of that going on as well. From Pat's point of view, though, it's funny because they're 2 points off Derry with a game in hand. You're kind of going, well, Pats could nearly catch Derry. But, you know, the game itself, I can see Bohs playing better in the game, but if I feel Pats might nick a point, let's say, without really playing that well, they might nick a point in this match. It'll be cagey, not because of the cup final, it'll be cagey because it's a big game, it's an important game. And I also have this sense that Pats are probably thinking, even at a subconscious level in the back of your head, you might go out on the pitch and say, you know, we're looking to win the game, but they'd be fairly happy with a draw with the position they're in. Now, Bohs can be got at, there's no doubt about that, and Pats are well capable of beating Bohemians. But I just feel with the way the two teams are playing at the moment, in a general sense, that, you know, Pats might be happy to dig in and get a point in this one. Bohs really need to go at them, and I saw them against Shells a couple of weeks ago at Dalymount as well, and in that particular game, it was in a sense too late when they decided to go at Shells, kind of. They could have won the game in the end, but, you know, a lot of Bohs fans be saying if they started the game on the front, they didn't start in the front foot, they waited until the second half to get on the front foot, and there was a lot of different things going on that led to that. But even so, they won't want to do the same again. And Pats do have a habit of sitting back. You know, even in Cork in the Cup, when they went 1-0 up, they dominated the start of that match and they scored early, and you know, should have scored before that. But as soon as they did, there was an element of sitting back again. It just seems to have come into their psyche a little bit for some reason. So I can see a bit of that in the game. And you know, from Pat's point of view, Sam Curtis is back as well, which is a huge plus for them. I do think Pats are stronger defensively overall than Bohs. Midfield, it's about even enough-ish, to be honest with you. And I think Bohs are slightly better in the forward line, to be honest, as well. So look, they'll be looking to Danny Grant, hoping that he'll get going after scoring that goal the other week against UCD as well, and hopefully he can kick on. You know, the Bohs fans will be thinking to themselves. So you know, if he starts to be up against Sam Curtis, though, which is you know, he's definitely the best right back in the league, so no doubt about it. The age of 17, the #1 right back in under 21 level for Ireland, says a lot, doesn't it? But I think I'll go for a draw on this. There was 3-2 earlier on the season. Be very surprised if it was anything close to that scoreline in terms of goals. Now, I'm vlogging the match, so I hope it's not, but I'm going to say 0-0, to be honest. Next up is Derry and Shelbourne, and another game that's been tight this season. 0-0, 1-1, and 1-0 have been the results between these two teams this season. Derry winning 1-0 at Tolka, the 0-0 coming at the Brandywell. And Shelbourne are a very sticky team, we know that. I think they've only lost 2 of the last 16 games or something like that. One of them was against Shamrock Rovers, and it's a must-win for Derry. There's no two ways about it. It's a must-win for Derry. If Derry have any chance of catching Rovers, they have to win this. I think it's gone, personally, for them, but they're 4 points behind. Rovers have a game in hand. Regardless of what Derry do this weekend, and I'll talk about it in a few minutes when I'm talking about Shamrock Rovers, but if Shamrock Rovers beat Drogheda and beat Cork, Rovers are champions. Simple as that. But Derry have to give themselves a chance, and there's no guarantee that Rovers pick up the 6 points in the next couple of days either. So it's going to be a difficult game. Shells are a sticky team. Shells have their own agenda as well. They'll feel like they can, you know, sneak back into the European places. Some of the fixtures they have are a little bit favourable after this as well. Like, I think they play Drogheda, I'm pretty sure, who you'd argue have nothing to play for. Well, they don't have anything to play for, but you know what I mean. And they've UCD as well, Shelbourne. So fixture-wise, they probably have an easier run in than Bows or Pats, who do have that little gap ahead of them, but it is a little gap. But if they're to finish third, you do feel that Shells probably need to get something out of this game. You know, probably win it, actually, to be honest, even with those favourable fixtures. Because just say if they were to get a point at the Brandywell, which technically is a good result, they'd be on 54. But if Bows or Pats win, they're going to gain on them. And then even if it's a draw, then you feel like they haven't taken advantage of that. So I feel they probably have to win if they're going to get third. Might just be out of reach for them, third place, unless they win at the Brandywell. Certainly fourth is well in reach, though, because, you know, depending on the result between Pats and Bows, you know, if someone was to lose that, they'd be obviously quite close to them. But I expect another tight game. Shelbourne will go to the Brandywell and try and frustrate Derry, and Derry have found it very difficult at times to break down opposition this year, and there's no one really harder to break down at times than Shelbourne, is there? We all know they're capable of playing football. Wood has been exceptional in the middle of the park since he's come into the side from his loan from Hull. He's had 6 assists, which is very impressive. I don't think he scored yet, surprisingly, because or did he get one? I can't remember now. He may have got one. Shells fans can tell me that down in the comments. Has Wood scored? Harry Wood scored for Shelbourne yet? Maybe it was in the cup. I can't remember. I really can't. Something's telling me he might have nicked one this season, but it's going to be a difficult fixture for both sides, really. And it's a game that really both sides have to win. But I do think Shells will be more cautious because, you know, they probably feel like that's the best way of beating Derry in that sense, playing a bit cautiously and keeping it tight and frustrating Derry, because Derry can be frustrated, as Derry fans will know all too well this season. And, you know, if they don't win Derry and don't get a result, then, you know, and Shamrock Rovers win, I'm just thinking on the fly here, actually, if Derry were to lose, let's say, they're in 58, Rovers were to win, they're in 65. That's it, isn't it? That's it. So Rovers can actually win the league on the night if results went their way. Because Derry would only have 2 matches left and they'd be stuck on 58. Rovers would be on 65. Yeah. So Rovers could actually win it, funnily enough, on Friday night. That's how precarious it is. That might add pressure to Derry, though, as well. It might add pressure to Derry. And I don't think they've dealt well with the pressure of the season at times. I still think, subconsciously anyway, the players may not think it, and in the dressing room, but on a subconscious level, I'm watching them play at times. I think when it's there for them, I think they lack belief. They lack belief that they're going to finish ahead of Rovers, and I think that's been a huge thing for them this season. They have the squad. Rovers haven't been scintillating by any means this season either, but, you know, again, it's a tough one to call, but I think I'm going to go with a draw on this one too. But I'm going to go 1-1. Derry 1, Shells 1. Let me know in the comments as well what you think. Excuse me, lads, we have a sore throat. I don't know if it's the weather or whatever, but anyway, Sligo are taking on Dundalk at the showgrounds as well this weekend. And obviously Sligo, from their point of view, not mathematically safe, but it would take an absolute miracle for Cork to get out of it. Sligo are 9 points out of Cork with 4 games to go. They're 4 points off Drogheda, so they should be trying to say to themselves, let's try and finish out of Drogheda. And it's an interesting game against Dundalk. Both sides very difficult to judge, you'd have to say. Very difficult to judge. Dundalk beat them this season 2-1. And no, Sligo beat Dundalk, this season 2-1 at Oriel actually. But Dundalk have won the 2 corresponding fixtures at Oriel and at the Showgrounds, both 1-0. I don't know what Sligo's going to turn up here, lads. I really don't know. Sligo fans will know themselves. Very difficult to know. You know, one week they're half decent, they pull off a result, and the next week they're beaten and beaten well. That seems to be the thing with them. If they don't play well, Sligo, they will get beaten. You know, they're not grinding out results, you know, that kind of way. They're not that type of side. They have to play really well generally to be able to get a result against anybody in the league, and that includes UCD, to be honest. You know what I mean? So Dundalk, look, it's disappointing for them. They're obviously 6th in the league and 49 points. They're really out of the European race in reality. They're not finishing 3rd, they're not finishing 4th, and highly unlikely they're going to finish 5th. It's very disappointing. You know, I've said it before, but they do have good players, and they have good attacking players. Daniel Kelly, Horgan, Houben, are all a major threat to Sligo. And look, I don't know. I mean, you could flip a coin here, you know what I mean, in this game, and you just don't know. It is on the day, because Dundalk are a bit like that too. Dundalk are the type of team that, okay, they've been better than Sligo this season, but they are a type of team that they have to perform really, really well, and if they perform poorly, sometimes they look really bad as well, and they get beaten. So I don't know. I just feel, are Sligo due a win? Maybe they are, so I'm going to go for Sligo to win it 1-0. Let's know what you think in the comments as well. UCD Cork, not really much to play for either here, is there? Although, you know, Richie Holland, etc. will be telling his crew that, look, we're still in it, etc., etc. All the usual kind of things you say when you're not actually quite, you know, relegated or, you know, definitely in the playoffs, you know what I mean, for next season. But the 9 points off Sligo, it's looking very difficult for them. Like, you know, even if they were to get a result, the 3 points that Sligo were to lose, you know, the games are running out, aren't they? So, but they'll be looking to do that, and obviously if they go to UCD and don't get a result, you know, you kind of go, well, look, they deserve to be where they are, and I think they do anyway, to be fair. They had a good cup run, to be fair to them as well. I think they've played better in the last few weeks though. They have played better in the last few weeks, so you know, I've talked about Keeshan's trash before, but in general they've just looked more, I don't know if it's kind of more compact and more cohesive, but again, is that just because there's been change again, and you get that sometimes for a couple of weeks and then goes back to square one again? But you know, realistically they'll be planning for the playoffs, I think, and you know, I know it might sound a bit defeatist, but if anyone has even a little niggle of an injury, I'm not playing them, to be honest with you, because it'll take a miracle for Cork to get out of this and finish ahead of Sligo Rovers, let's be fair, you know. And it'd probably do them no harm if Sligo were actually to win as well, because they can kind of go, oh, definitely now, like, we're definitely in the playoffs, you know, that kind of way as such. So I'm trying to see if there's a scenario where they could, yeah, well, Sligo could go on 39 points, Cork, if they lose, will be on 27. So be nearly mathematically gone, really, wouldn't it? But I don't think that'll happen this weekend, to be honest. I do think they'll go to UCD and win. I think UCD will try and attack them. They might expose themselves at the back, and I think Keeshan and the likes, Bargery, players of that can take advantage. Their midfield's been playing quite well in the last few weeks as well, particularly Bulger, I think, in the middle of the park. And you know, UCD, it's been a difficult season for them, and they'll have new management next season. A couple of players have been on international duty with Ireland as well in the underage setups, like a few of the clubs, but you know, they'll keep trying to get a result, and they probably kind of fancy themselves here such as well, I guess. They did win this corresponding fixture 1-0 at Belfield earlier on in the season and drew 1-1 Turners, but they also got a hiding at Turners Cross 4-0, but that was very early in the season. I think that was the first time they met as well. So, you know, it's been a very inexperienced, for UCD even, side this year, and you know, it's hard to explain, but a lot of the time, you know, they have experienced youngsters, or youngsters maybe that kind of in their second or third season type thing. And obviously Jack Keeney there and that type of thing, who's played quite a bit of centre back this season as well, and captained the side. But I do fancy Cork for this one. I'll go for Cork 2-0. Finally, Shamrock Rovers and Drogheda United, and I talked about how Rovers win their next 2 games. They're definitely champions regardless of what Derry City do, and they're Drogheda and Cork City. And they'll target that. Now, as I said in the Derry preview there's a chance they're champions on Friday night if they could win at home to Drogheda and Derry lose at home to Shelbourne. Then Shamrock Rovers are champions. They're very close though, and I think they're going to get there. But they haven't beaten Drogheda this season. They lost 2-1 in Tallaght Stadium against Drogheda this season, and 2 draws in Weavers Park as well. And a bit of trouble against Drogheda last season as well, so they had. So it's interesting. Now, I'm sure Bradley and the players, it's almost like an added incentive, isn't it? You know what I mean? You look at it, you know, the outside looking in, you'd say, Rovers probably should beat Drogheda and Cork, and that'll be the league for them. But there'll be no complacency coming into this game because they played Drogheda 3 times this season, failed to beat them. Now, Drogheda have nothing to play for now. And that can work 2 ways sometimes. Sometimes there's a bit of a freedom. I know Kevin Doherty will want the standards to be high till the end of the season, and players like Gary Deegan, leaders in the dressing room, that kind of thing. I get that. But you can say all those things, and at the end of the day, when you know that you don't need a result, even on a subconscious level, the hunger and desire might be there. If they were to go down against Shamrock Rovers, have they got the wherewithal to try and get back into the game, you know? And it is difficult because you can say that. You can go out on the pitch and say, you know, this is what we're going to do, that's what we're going to do. You can say that in a normal situation and it doesn't happen. But just subconsciously, you know that you've nothing to play for, and even a drop, a little minute percent can be a massive difference, and Rovers will look to prey on that. For that reason, I do think Rovers will win the game. I think they'll see the finishing line in sight. Jack Byrne might even be available fit for this game. I know he's made a few sub appearances and stuff like that, and you know, Farouj is back and players of that, so they're fairly full strength. Rovers coming into this match, and unlike the other seasons where, because I do think they'll win the league, where I've kind of gone, for the last 3 seasons I've said Rovers fully deserve to win the league, been brilliant, been the best team, etc, deserve to be champions. This season, no one has deserved to take it off them, more so. I think that's the point, and that's what I would look at. They'll end up winning the league, but their consistency hasn't been that good at all. But nobody has actually deserved to finish ahead of them. That's more, you know, that's not Shamrock Rovers' issue for a start, but there's a feeling that they're falling over the line this time, and when they win it, they will deserve to win it, but more based on the fact that, you know, other teams weren't good enough to take advantage of their inconsistent season, to be honest with you. And you know, the league's tightened up, I said it before, kind of at the bottom end, more or less. You know, you see the aside, I think even Cork have been decent at times, you know what I mean? But the top end, it's kind of been a bit weaker. And you see that. And, you know, Rovers, 4 in a row would be an amazing achievement. And I do think they'll get there, and it'll be a brilliant achievement for Bradley. But without going too much into it, I think they'd need to do a bit next season if they really want to kick on again, freshen things up a little bit. I think that's where they're going, because if someone like a Derry, you know, who arguably been a bit disappointing this season, does kick on, then Rovers will have to be better next season. They can't go into next season kind of going, you know, but sure, Derry or Pats or Bows won't be good enough to win the league. They have to set it by the standards they've set over the last 3 or 4 years. That's not easy though, because it's not easy for any team to win 4 in a row. And this is why it'd be such an achievement to go and actually win it 4 times in a row. It'd be an amazing achievement. But they've been less than impressive this season. On the game itself though, I do think they'll win it. I think, I obviously spoke about Drogheda in terms of, you know, the subconscious level and that. So I think Rovers will win this one. I think they'll win it 2-0. And it would not shock me if they were champions on the night. It would not shock me if Shells were to win in Derry. But I think they'll definitely be champions by Monday evening. So guys, that's it. Let me know what you think in the comments. Give us a few predictions. Any thoughts on any of the points I'm making about any of the teams, let me know down in the comments. If you haven't subscribed already, please hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button if you like the video. It does help with YouTube algorithm. And good evening and enjoy your weekend. Good luck.